So, I love the month of January because traditionally in all centers for spiritual living around the globe, we take a little bit of a dive into the first 3 chapters of the Science of Mind textbook, this philosophy, faith, and way of life that was brought to us by Dr. Ernest Holmes. So it's the one month of the year where I could be unabashedly, shamelessly, proudly proselytize, did I say that right? Proselytize this faith and this way of life that we practice here. This reading was absolutely amazing. It could be our sermon today and send you all home. No. Well, let's do the offering, and then, of course, if you want to go, go. So the first sentence in this reading that Dawn wrote is, coming to a realization that we may consciously better ourselves through right thinking, which is the core of our teaching really, is to think a different way and act a different way. We must at the same time know that the reason for that, our ability to do so, is the fact that we use a power greater than we are. Now that power greater than we are, if you're anything like me, grew up in a kind of American family like me, that power greater than we are, we used to call it God, and it used to be up there somewhere, watching us diligently, listening to our prayers but not always answering them, being used to correct our behavior or scare the bejesus out of us. So we've come, one of the things I love, and one of the early traumatic experiences in my life was John F. K's assassination. I was young, but my parents were devastated, and I kind of caught the devastation, even though it wasn't really my devastation personally because I didn't understand. But I remember being called into a church. I don't know why. I was, 10 years old, 11 years old. When was it? 64? 62. I was 11 years old. I remember going into a church, a Catholic church, and it was very comforting, actually. I didn't really know why it was so comforting. But I never really felt that the God I was hearing about was the right God. But I did know that there was something. Those are my words as an 11-year-old. There must be something. Look at the sunset. There must be something. Who made that sunset? Mommy, who made the sunset? Did I ever tell you the joke? This is not in my script today, and I had to give up time for announcements, but the little girl goes to her mommy and says, Mommy, how did people get here? Where did people come from? And Mommy goes, well, honey, you come from God. People come from God. She goes, okay. Then she goes and finds her dad who's in the garage. She goes, Daddy, where did people come from? And he goes, oh, honey, people come from apes. And so she's very confused. She goes, oh. So she paddles back into the kitchen. Mommy, Daddy says we come from apes. Oh, honey, he was only talking about his side of the family. It's one of my favorites. And actually, I've been here long enough, probably some of you have never heard it, so it's good. So when I fell into the science of mind, and I really didn't plan on falling into the science of mind. I actually fell into a try to fix my marriage church. And my husband was Catholic, and I was nothing. So I had no religion. He was raised Catholic. So we get ready to go to church, and he puts on a suit, and I put on my blue jeans, and I knew we were in trouble. And we did try traditional churches, but I was always excluded because I was not baptized. So they would say I couldn't participate fully. And then one day we walked into this big church in Los Angeles. It was a very diverse and very musically inclined. And it was Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, and it was a Science of Mind church. He at that time was the dean of the School of Ministry. And for whatever reason, I fell in love with all of it, but mostly I loved the fact that Ernest Holmes called God the thing itself, to which I said, I knew there was something. I just didn't know what it was. None of us know what it is because we are not taught about it. We were never shared with as children because nobody who we were hanging out with knew that there is a way that life works, and that if you work it the way it's designed to work, you will have a different outcome than if you don't. So we have to not only, the science of mind is unique in that it is a metaphysical, philosophical teaching. So I don't know that I really call us a religion, though we act like a religion, right? We have church, we have offerings, we have music, we pray, but I actually really think of it more as a community of people practicing practical metaphysics, like a philosophy. Ernest Holmes said a bazillion times in his lifetime, and by the way, he was like this, he was like B. He had a radio show in Los Angeles, and he said the thing itself, he said, change your thinking, change your life. Change your thinking, change your life. Do you know how simple that sounds? I want you to know how effective it works, how truly transformational changing your thinking will be in changing the circumstances of your personal life and changing the world we live in. It's the only thing that will. Now, I'm going to back up once because I don't want to bypass love here. Ernest Holmes said, God, the universe operates through love and law, both of which are God. Love is the undergirding energy of everything. Now, it doesn't look that way in human affairs, but that's because humans haven't really fully embraced the thing itself, right? Because if we continue to think that we're somehow apart and separate from love, like love's outside of us, or love is not of God, if we continue to think that there's God and anything, then there's this possibility of duality. But in God, there is no duality. There's only unity, and it's only love. It cannot be any other way, and I just invite you not to take my word for it. Ernest Holmes used to say, don't believe me, practice. Practice. Look for yourself. That if you take away, if you look at what God has created, the beauty on this planet, the systematic, orderly, harmonious functioning of this planet, the systematic, orderly, beautiful functioning of your body temple, the amazement you feel at babies and sunrises and roses, you will know, we've all felt that love that is invisible, actually. Love is not visible except by what it produces. Are you with me? So we're going to take for granted love today, that God is love, only love. God is everywhere present, nowhere absent. But you are the thing itself. The thing itself is one thing, and it expresses as your individual life. So change your thinking, change your life. This is the study of the science of mind and spirit, is to learn how to think and to learn that your thoughts are creative. Now, great spiritual geniuses, whether it was Moses, Jesus, Plato, Socrates, Buddha, or Emerson, have taught man to look inside to find God. Ernest Holmes said, you'll never find God anywhere other than inside. You can only see all we see are effects. Now, this might be easier to grasp if you think of love and law. When the word law means a principle, it means a principle, not necessarily like a traffic citation. Though maybe there are traffic citations in the spirit as well. But so a principle The physical principles of life we never question, right? We never question gravity. We never question thermodynamics. We never question photosynthesis. We never question digestion, circulation, because they're there. We see them, we know they're there, we know they're real, and we don't walk off cliffs, right? So the idea here, to stretch a little bit, is that there are spiritual principles, invisible spiritual principles. By the way, gravity is invisible. Thermodynamics is invisible. Beauty is invisible. Love is invisible. It is something that is created by, and we then bear witness to. So spiritual principles are as real as gravity. And by the way, gravity doesn't care if you believe in it, or if you go to church, or if you tithe enough, or if you like it, if you have an opinion about it. Gravity could care less. All the physical sciences could care less. We are merely here to discover them and learn how to be in right relationship to them. So right relationship to gravity means you do not walk off a cliff. Because you know what happens? Splat. So the law of mind is a spiritual principle. And it is exactly this which the Science of Mind has brought to the world. Ernest Holmes brought to the world. The Center for Spiritual Living is bringing to the world. It's what I've dedicated my life to, which is that there is a systematic process of your thoughts becoming things, of our thoughts becoming things, that we think into existence everything that is visible. And the source of all that visible stuff is an invisible principle. Now, can you imagine how your life might have been different if somebody had taught you this when you were 3 or 8? Instead of, 45, I mean, I was at the middle age of my life with I don't know what the right word is, disenchanted. That would be my word. I was just disenchanted. It's like everything they said that would pay off in happiness and well-being didn't. And it didn't matter whether it was love or money or housing or travel. None of those things filled my soul. I was self-medicating, I was a workaholic, I was just a little hot mess. Are there any other hot messes here? And just like in the reading, it's not something normally for most of us that it goes boom, that you work at it. If something in you today, this feels true, work at it, explore it happily. Why not? Why not explore it? Because if life isn't the way we want it to be, it's not like it's outside of your reach. We pray to God, and by the way, God, can you imagine the billions and billions and billions of people praying to a God they think is out there? I suppose a few prayers get answered, but the majority of them do not. So it's another confusing aspect of life, right? It's like, Mommy, does God not like me? Why didn't God get me a pony for Christmas? Why? It's because it doesn't work that way, darling. Here's how it works. Dream about ponies. Color ponies. Write about ponies. Go look at some ponies. If you do that enough, a pony will materialize in your existence. Because the law says, give me an idea of what you want, and I'll go about the business of making it. Because whether you're a human being or a cow or a crane or a chair or a flower, we're all made out of the same building blocks. Different configuration, of course. But unlike all of those other things, you and I can think. Now, some people might argue that animals can think, but they don't think in the same. Listen, I've spent last 25 years with all kinds of animals, and they don't think like we think. They don't deduce. They don't do New Year's Eve's intention setting for 2026. They do what they're intended to do, which is to live their lives to be the best lion they can be, to be the best cat they can be. right? But you and I are a little bit different in that we can plant seeds into the law. We can release our words into the law. And if we believe, because after all, it is done unto us as we believe, with enough faith, enough time, enough commitment, that thing that you're wanting cannot help but materialize. The reading, it also said something to the effect of, this doesn't happen instantly, although theoretically it could. Jesus created instantly by using the law of mind, right? So they say, loaves and fishes and such. So electricity, the reason I look is because I can't really see it, because I have reading glasses on, so it's like, am I on the right slide? There's got to be a solution, right? If anybody has one. Anyway, electricity was a reality in the universe when Moses led the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. It already existed. Fire already existed. Thermodynamics already existed. The law of attraction everything already existed. This is true of all natural laws. They have always existed, but only when understood may they be used. Now, an easy translation, it's easy for me to say, really, I've been living by these principles for 25 years. I'm going to tell you in 25 years, one, I've never been happier than I am today. During those 25 years, no matter where I was on the planet, no matter what I was doing, I was never without anything I needed. That 90% of those years were happy years. I cannot say the same from 0 to 45. I cannot say that. So there is something about us understanding that the law, because it's a principle and works 100% of the time for 100% of the people, no matter what, that it is possible to use this law to create in form what you do not want. I'll give you a moment to inhale that. So if in life you're angry, or if in life you're resentful, or if in life you have hatred in your heart, if in life you feel you're not worthy of good, if in life you feel like a great job, a great husband, or a great wife, or a great friend is not something you deserve, guess what? You don't, you won't. You have to trust that what's visible is coming from invisible sources. And the invisible source it's coming from is the law of mind, and you're using it in the wrong way. So all you got to do is use it the right way. That's why you're here. Really. Now, up in the rest of the year, I'll say that you're here to experience joy or give you a prosperity class, and we'll do the 5 love languages in February. But this month, I want you studying the science of mind. I want you to embrace this philosophy as if your life depended on it. So that is the invitation. So the first 3 chapters of the Science of Mind magazine are the thing itself, what it does, and the way it works. And you're going to get that from whoever's speaking up here on Sunday morning this month. We're going to continue talking about the value of this philosophy and its practical application in your everyday lives. And February 7th, I'll also be offering our foundations class, which is an 11-week, 10-week class with a prayer practicum for anyone who's interested in serious study with other people who are interested in serious study. It's called the foundations class. We'll talk more about that later. But for now, the charge this week is just to, when we look at the world, it's hard to get this, right? It's hard to say, wow, but the world, Denise, look at the world. It's like, I know. Wouldn't it be great if they knew? Wouldn't it be great when somebody says we're going to start a war on terrorism, that they could know what they were starting in thought, right? Or I'm going to win and you're going to lose, what they're starting in thought, because the manifestation is, it's like a automatic. You can't stop it. So we want to change our negativity into negative expectation into positive expectation. You want to do your work, your forgiveness work. You want to do your gratitude work, because love, the quality of love, the experience of love is in alignment with gratitude and forgiveness and kindness and compassion. Doesn't mean the law of mind won't work if you're not those things, but it's not going to produce anything you want. So just be thoughtful this week. Be thoughtful this week. Yes? All right, so our affirmation for today, I'm going to read it first and I'll have you read. It's, there is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. And that life is my life now. I am the thing itself in expression. Your turn, loud and proud.
There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. And that life is my life now. I am the thing itself in expression.
Woo-hoo. Yes, you are, and yes, and so it is. Thank you, community. Wonderful.